Hi, Modern Brit Lit friends. How are you? I hope you're doing well and that your week has started off smoothly. For today, the only thing that is due for you is the discussion. There's no quiz today, no other assignment. There's just a poetry discussion on Edmodo that you need to participate in by 11:59 p.m. tonight, and then you'll be good to go. If you have any questions about that, let me know. But you have a choice of responding to the poem by Matthew Arnold or either of the poems by Robert Browning. So you only have to respond to one of those questions. Coming up this week, there's no better, probably, ambassador for what we think of when we think of Victorian literature in Britain as Sherlock Holmes and Arthur Conan Doyle. So in the post with this video, I'm going to be posting some information about Arthur Conan Doyle's life and a couple of Sherlock Holmes stories. Your job will be to read both of those stories. And so one is called A Scandal in Bohemia, and it's notable because it has the character of Irene Adler in it. And if you think that she's going to be like the character who's in the movie, then she's very, very different. I think she's actually better in the story, though. And The Speckled Band, which is kind of more gothy and more horror themed. So both of those are going to be in this post, links to both of those, and you're going to read them both. And then also I have a clip for you that you're going to watch of the episode of Shoscombe Old Place from the BBC Grenada television series, which was on in like the 80s and 90s. And to me, it's pretty much the definitive Sherlock Holmes. I don't think there's ever been anything done that was more faithful to the source material. And so this episode of this TV show is an extremely faithful adaptation of the Shoscombe Old Place short story and has kind of an interesting plot twist in it, as they always do. So to get kind of a better sense of Holmes and his style and the sort of the whole compendium, you're going to be reading two stories and you're going to be watching one. Now, that is work. So on the assignment schedule, it says participate in the discussion prompts anytime between now and the 19th. I am actually cutting the discussion prompts for this week because I know that I've given you two stories to read and a whole thing to watch. So I wanted to take that off your plate. I don't want to overload you. So there is not going to be a discussion this week. There will, however, be a quiz on the 19th over the Sherlock Holmes stuff. So there'll be a quiz over all three of those, both of the stories and the TV episode that you're going to watch. So if you have questions about any of that, let me know. But I just don't think it would be a modern British literature course if we did not cover some Arthur Conan Doyle. He is absolutely huge. One thing that's interesting about Arthur Conan Doyle is that he partially inspired Jurassic Park. His book, The Lost World, and Frankenstein are what were combined to make the novel of Jurassic Park in Michael Crichton's mind. The other thing about him that's kind of interesting is he based the character of Sherlock Holmes on one of his professors in medical school. But he first kind of was inspired to come up with these detective stories in this format by an American author, Edgar Allan Poe. So in stories like The Gold Bug or Murders at the Rue Morgue, those are the part of what inspired Arthur Conan Doyle to come up with the detective format in the way that he did. Because Poe, wrote a few really good stories, but just didn't go that far with it. Arthur Conan Doyle is the one who really made the mystery genre in the way that it exists today. Like, it would not exist without him. And as you probably know, the character of Sherlock Holmes was so popular that when he killed off Sherlock Holmes, people basically rose up in arms and got super angry and canceled thousands and thousands of magazine subscriptions in pure rage because it was serialized in a magazine. And so it got so bad that he basically didn't have any choice but to bring him back. And the later stories are just as good as the earlier ones. So if you have any questions, like I said, let me know. For today, your job is just participate in that discussion about the poetry. And then for next week, for the 19th, there will be a quiz over the Sherlock Holmes material. So you're going to be reading A Scandal in Bohemia, reading Shoscombe Old Place, reading The Speckled Band, and watching Shoscombe Old Place. There have been several different film adaptations of Sherlock Holmes throughout time and history and whatever. A lot of people love the modern BBC one with Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm not a huge fan. I don't really like the idea that like somebody who's super smart has to be a sociopath or has to be autistic. Like, I have issues with that, but weirdly, like the Robert Downey Jr. movies, even though they're completely not like, they're totally not based on the books at all, I actually quite like them, and in some ways, in some weird ways, they do actually honor the source material. So one other thing I wanted to tell you, speaking of movies, is that all of you, and I posted about this before, but all of you now have your current grade updates from me. I either sent it on Snapchat or on Edmodo to everyone. So if you haven't checked that yet, either go check your Snap or your Edmodo. If something goes wrong and you didn't get it, then let me know. But if any of you are not thrilled with your current grade, for the record, like I said in the post, this is the highest overall set of grades that I've ever had at this point in the semester in a literature class. Ever. That's transcending Rhone State. That's at any job. So seriously, congratulations for that. You should feel good. But if any of you would still like to raise that grade a little bit higher, the movie extra credits that I offer, they don't expire. Like, they don't expire until the last day of class. So even the Sense and Sensibility one that I offered like a month ago, that is still on the table. The Dracula one that I have just offered, you're welcome to do. And then at the end of the term, I'll be offering another one for Crimson Peak, which I want to say came out about 5 years ago. It's a Guillermo del Toro film with Tom Hiddleston and who's the girl? Oh, it's the Polish girl whose name I can't pronounce, so there you go. But basically all it involves is you watch the movie and then you contact me on RadarNet and I write you back with a list of prompts for you to choose from that you will respond to. And you answer all the questions, but it's just opinion. It's not like anything you have to research. It's just kind of another way of engaging with the themes of the course and kind of romantic stuff or gothic stuff or any of that. So if you want that stuff, let me know. Sorry for saying stuff 20,000 times. I really have no excuse. Shoot me an email on RadarNet, and I will be happy to get those prompts to you. And again, you can do those extra credit prompts, any of those 3 movies, anytime from now until the last day of class. So just so you know, that's on the table. But overall, extremely good exam scores. Really pleased with you. And I hope that you enjoy the Sherlock Holmes material that you have been given this week. So if you need me, give me a shout. In the meantime, blessings to you all, air hugs, and I hope that you have a fabulous evening. So thank you for listening. Bye.